Another normal main challenge that we come across while working on dates is this one. Coming to the second challenge. So think of again, let's have a quick look at the data. If we see here, there is a mission end date and a mission start date. Let's take a scenario where you want to find, you will specify a certain date and you want to count all of the active missions on that date. Okay, a mission is said to be an active if the chosen date by the user falls between the mission start date and end date. Okay, that mission has to be counted as active and rest all should be counted as inactive. Now the problem with achieving that task is we only have, for each mission, we only have the start date and end date. Okay, now how do we get, let's assume the first mission, or the first row, the mission starts on 7th of September and closes on 13th of September. Now if a person selects 10th of September, the 10th of September is not at all related to, from the data source point of view, it's not at all related to this particular mission ID. There's no way we can get it related, because the data, this particular mission is only related with start and end date. But when a person selects that particular 10th day of the September, how we can relate showing this particular mission is also active and you should count this. So again, multiple ways to achieve this. You can get it done with table calculations or advanced some calculated fields, but it will again take a lot of time. One other easy way is something called some idea called a enumerated date. Okay, let me explain what it is. Open a sheet. So the idea is this. So for each mission, we know that there is a start date and end date, but we will join all the dates between those start date and end date for each of those missions. So thereby, whatever the date you choose for that particular day, if that mission is active, it will be related to that in a data set. So we have this particular column as a separate data set, which we have where we have each and every single day from the first mission start date to the last mission end date. So all the days will be given in this particular data set, and let's see how we can use that to get what we want. So all you have to do is you have to go into let's create a new sheet, add a data source, let's join this. So we have missions data here, start and end date. So now I'll add a connection to the enumerated dates data set, and I'll join this table. I'll join this table with the earlier data set based on the conditions in that. Keep it in that. So the condition is we have a start date and end date. On the start dates data set, we have a date column. Now we are allowing that user to select a date column that is coming from this secondary connection that we had. So based on that, we need to show all the uh, uh, missions that were active on that day. So basically what we have to do is, if a mission start date, let me put the logic, if a mission start date is less than the date that was selected by the user, then give me that mission. And also check another condition saying that if a mission end date, this has to be greater than the date that was selected by the user. Now let's see what it has done to our database. Earlier we had only one mission per row. There was no duplication. If we see now for the first 6 to 7 rows, we have some duplication data, and this is because this particular mission has started on September 7th and ended on September 13th of a certain year. Now there are from 7 to 13, there are 7 days, and for all of these 7 days, the date column, if you see here, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So whatever the days in between the start and end date there is for a mission, all the dates has been added. So whenever now a person chooses any date in between, now as we are talking earlier, September 10th, now this mission, this particular mission will be what we say, we'll be able to show, hey, this particular mission is also active on that day. Hope the logic that was clear, it was clear here. Now it's all about using this particular date for in Tableau rather than the mission start or end date. So we'll put this here. And let's only select for, since there are a lot of years, let's only select for 1 year of data. Understand it better. And count distinct of mission ID will give me all the missions that were present on that day. Okay, now let's compare this with the actual one. If I had to create mission start date without the logic, let's see what happens. And mission ID. If you see in this particular graph where there was no logic, so if you see the number never reaches 0 for first, and it will only take into account the days which were present in the data set. If you observe these two particular marks, there is supposed to be day 8, but since there was no mission that was started on that particular day, it was not present in the data set. So the particular user selects will not be able to say how many active missions are present as on that day. He'll not be able to select first of all that day only. And the other issue with this approach is you may have the last, for example, the x-axis here is mission start date, right? A mission and this is the last mission start date. So this is the date on which the last mission got started. But there were multiple missions that got started earlier, which may not have ended up until this date, which might have carried on to be active even after this date, and we'll not be able to see what those missions are when we take a mission start date when we go with this approach. So these are the normal problems that happen when you're working with dates. But here we see the 6 and 8. So here earlier this particular mark was missing, and here we got it, and we're also able to see the number of active proper trend line rather than only the missions that are starting on that day. Hope this was clear. And normally this particular case occurs when you're working on a transactional or log based data. So when a person logs in, there's a record for that log, but When a person doesn't log, there is no record for that log, and it will be difficult for us to analyze those sort of data. And this sort of mechanism where we can use blending to rejoin the data set with the same data set, or creating an enumerated date to get all the dates that were missing in a data set will help you solve those cases. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know.
Regarding the enumerated date, for example, assume a case where the data gets updated weekly or monthly, like you add a separate sheets of enumerated dates, right?
Yes.
So will that get updated automatically, or like how? Yeah, this sheet.
I didn't understand the question. Was it like if it's on a weekly basis, what will happen?
Yeah, something like that. So
Okay.
currently,
See, at this point in time, yeah, we are looking at a day level dates. But let's assume that you're working on a week level granularity. You don't have to drill down to day level. Then instead of day level, you have to just go with the week level enumeration. So keep every week. So instead of 1-1, you'll keep 1-1 and 1-2. You'll have 1-1 and 1-7. So for every week.
Not that one actually. For example, currently this sheet will have dates till maybe we'll assume a case till November.
Right. Okay.
When
How
December
will
data gets
this
updated? Yeah.
Understood. So the task is you have to make use of SQL functions here. So what you have to do is you can create dynamic views in SQL. So based on the current date, it will keep on populating this date column with additional values.
Yeah.
Okay. I think okay. So those are the two cases that I had for today.